What's up everybody, welcome to Best Massage Tech, where today I'm taking a look at the Normatec Go. So the Normatec Go is Hyperice's newest compression therapy tool. It is an air compression massager that is designed to increase circulation, reduce tension, reduce fatigue, and reduce pain. It is essentially a portable version of their Normatec system boots. So while it is not a full boot, it is designed explicitly to put on your calf. Now it is just a neoprene wrap, so you can really put it anywhere, but everything that they advertise with it is just explicitly for your shins and your calf. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about what comes with this device out of the box. I'll talk about some of the specifications and features, and then I will talk a little bit about my experience after wearing these for about a month. So out of the box, you get two of the actual compression wraps themselves. This is what they look like. Both of them do have their own control unit on them to control the device. You also get a small little box that has an open end on it that's got 3 different pieces of documents in it. You've got a quick start guide, you have just a black and white Hyperice sticker, and then you have a full user manual, which is really just a bunch of the specifications and warranty information. Then you do also get 2 charging cords. The charging cords are USB-C on one end and USB-A on the other end. And then you get a wall plug that has 2 USB outlets in the back. The wall plug does have an adjustable outlet on it, so you can just flip that in and out real easily. And that's all that comes with it. So in terms of the actual wraps themselves, I'll talk a little bit about the design of them and then some of the specifications and features of these. So when you see them here, they're not very big. They are designed explicitly to wear on your shins again, so they are only about 12 inches tall. The fabric that these are made of is very similar to the actual Normatec boots themselves. So you'll see most of the fabric on this is the same as those boots, but part of it is sort of a neoprene fabric with Velcro on one side. So if you're looking at it from this side, you see about 90% of the boot is the one fabric, and then 10% is that neoprene or Velcro sleeve. Now the other end of it is Velcro on the outside. You have about 6 inches of Velcro, so it's really easy for adjusting to different size. If you have big calves or small calves, you should be able to get a nice firm fit there regardless. But again, the rest of this material is a nice solid feeling material. Very easily, you could wipe this down if you're sweating on it at all. Now in terms of the design of it, it is a 3-chambered wrap, so very similar to the boots, which have different chambers that fill with air. This has 3 chambers within it. And I don't know if you can see it in the light here, but there's some stitching that runs the length of this wrap. And that's just dividing it into the 3 chambers that do wrap around the entire section of the wrap, other than the part directly behind and below the actual control unit. So with those chambers, they are overlapping or gapless. So when it is filling with air, you're not gonna have any sort of backflow issue, but really isn't a huge concern with something like this because you're not driving fluid back to your core like you would be with the actual Normatec boots. It's really sort of mimicking more of a massage than it is a fluid moving device, but you will get some of that feeling from it still. Now, the whole device is controlled by this little control unit on it here. Again, each of the wraps have their own control unit. They are Bluetooth connected, so once they are both on, they will both be controlled the same. It's the same sort of technology that if you've seen my Therabody Jet Boots review, those connect similarly, where if you make any sort of adjustment on one of them, it's also gonna adjust the other one if you have them both on and paired. Hyperice calls that their HyperSync technology, which just allows the 2 wraps to communicate with each other. Now this is a battery powered device, so with this, you do have to charge this. I mentioned the charging cord earlier. There's just a small little charging port on the side of this unit. So both of those, again, they can charge at the same time. You've got 2 USB ports in the back of your charging block there, so that's that. In terms of branding on these wraps, you do just have the Hyperice logo on one side and then the Normatec Go written vertically. There's no other branding on it whatsoever. Now, in order to actually turn these on, there is a power button on the side. You just press and hold that for a second. It will light up. This is your battery charge indication. You have 5 different lights that just show what your battery level is at. With this, it does say that it has a battery life of 3 hours. That's gonna depend on what pressure setting you're using it and how long you're using it for an individual session. But in terms of actually using them, it is extremely easy. You really just have 3 buttons. You have a level button, a time button, and a start and stop button. See if I can get that to focus on the writing there. So you've got the level there, you see it says 7. It is 7 different pressure settings on this device. The pressure range is gonna go from 40 to 200 millimeters of mercury. The time, you can do all the way up to 60 minutes in 15-minute increments. So 15, 30, 45, or 60, and then you could start and stop your massage at any point just with that start and stop button. Now, one thing that's interesting to note here is that the pressure going from 40 all the way up to 200 is a lot higher than their actual boots themselves. So a nice little increase in pressure there. And the other thing is, because this is a wrap, you can really adjust this as tight as you want onto your legs, and it's really gonna dictate how much pressure you feel once you actually get it starting to fill with air. Now, these do only come in one size, so again, this is the one size that you get, but you are able to adjust it just with the Velcro. The overall size of this is 24 inches wide by 12 inches tall, and then with this, it's about 1 inch thick just in this part. Otherwise, it's pretty thin overall. These do not come with a case of any sort, so you're just gonna have to throw them in a backpack, or keep your charging cords somewhere safe to make sure you're not losing them. It does come with a 1-year warranty. The current price is $399, so it seems relatively fairly priced when you compare it to the full boot system, which has a lot more capabilities. This is right about half of that. So for me, it's definitely an interesting thing. I like the versatility of it because, unlike the boots, you can't really move around when you have the boots. You pretty much have to be sitting down. You can wear these while you're warming up for an athletic event. You can wear them while you're walking around. You do get a pretty significant squeeze if you are trying to walk around while it is inflating, but you certainly are capable of doing that. You can wear them while you're sitting. They are small enough that you could probably wear them under sweatpants or something. So if you're somebody that is on your feet for work a lot, you could probably wear them like that. In terms of the noise of this, I'll turn it on here and hold it up next to my mic here, just so you can get a sense of the noise, but it is a very, very quiet hum. Not really noticeable at all. While this is sort of filling here, I will let it fill just to show it what it looks like when it inflates, but it does always fill from the bottom to the top. So you can see it starting to fill up here. Just that air bladder that's inside, again, it runs the entire length or width of this. So see it filling there. So this is the first chamber. It'll fill that chamber next, and then that chamber, and then deflate, and just kind of go in that same cycle pattern. With that being said, there is only that one pattern of fill on this, so that's how you're gonna get your massage feel from this. You cannot do different patterns. You cannot activate or deactivate any of the individual chambers on it. So it is just gonna fill all 3, deflate, fill all 3 again. So pretty basic from that standpoint. They do say that it's Bluetooth compatible with their Hyperice app. I don't know if it just hasn't rolled out yet, but when I go into the Hyperice app right now, there are no routines that you can do or any sort of controls to be able to adjust the pressures or anything like that. In some of their early advertising, they did show that you could adjust the pressure and the time settings from the app. So maybe I'm just missing something, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do that yet. If I do, I will sort of put a screen share over here and just show that happening. But otherwise, the Bluetooth connectivity of it is really just so the 2 different devices connect to themselves. So again, this is just gonna continue filling here. I'm gonna pause this one so I can go ahead and change my camera angle just to show how to actually put these on, and then just talk about what I'm feeling while they are filling. So in order to put on your Normatec Go, you do just go ahead and unwrap the Velcro. They recommend that you take the control unit and place it on the front of your shin. And remember, the reason for that is because you have your 3 different chambers here that do fill with air, but they don't fill with air in this section directly behind the unit or directly below it. So by aligning that with the front of your shin, it allows most of the air pouch to be around your calves, where you're actually gonna get the most benefit from it versus the front of your shin, which is really just bone. Now once you have it on, it should be relatively loose. You want it to fit snugly, but you should still be able to move it a little bit, because remember, as this fills with air, you're gonna get a lot of pressure. And especially when you get up towards the top of your calf where you have a larger muscle mass, it's gonna be tighter up there once it fills. So just go ahead and place both of them on by wrapping them around. Go ahead and turn them both on. Now again, once you have them both on, they will be connected. So anything that you do to one control will also happen on the other one. So I do have them both turned on at the moment. I have it set to level 5, 15 minutes, and I just go ahead and press start. And you see both of the little white rings there. They're both on, both pumping simultaneously. and you just sort of let it fill up and do its thing. Now, again, the benefit of this is you can walk around with these on. You can obviously do it while you're sitting. They show a video of John Morant, and he's actually playing basketball with them on, just shooting around. So certainly can do that if that's something that you're interested in. I typically just sit with them on. That's what I find most comfortable. But with this, you can make any sort of adjustments while it is filling. So if I wanted to go up to level 6, I can do that mid-routine. Level 7, you can also adjust the time if you want to go longer. Again, if you hit start or stop here, it's gonna do the same thing to both of them. So I'll just go ahead and turn it on. What I'm feeling here is it is filling the bottom section first. So I do have a nice firm squeeze on my Achilles and the lower part of my calf here. I do just have the 15-minute routine, so it's gonna slowly build all the way up. Again, it does start to get a lot tighter when you get up towards the top section here, but because it is filling the entire thing before deflating, you do get a little bit of a cool rush feeling in your feet. Now when this is filling, it is filling one chamber, it's holding for about a second or two and then deflating slightly and then going again. So it's not like it's just gonna cut off the circulation in the entire, it does pause to let your blood go, sort of back and keep flowing there. So there it is. I'm about 1.5 minutes in, and it just finished with that first chamber. It is now moving up to the second chamber here. And as you get up the muscle mass of my calves there, again, just starting to feel a little bit tighter. You can see it here, how this part's not inflated, these two are. It's really just like sort of a firm squeeze, as if someone was taking like a rolling pin, or if someone was actually doing a massage and sliding their hand all the way up my calf. Obviously very different than a massage because it's your entire leg at once, but it feels, I guess I would say, more massage-like than the Normatec 3 boots themselves, because you have 3 chambers on your calves versus the Normatec boots. It's really one, kind of 1.5 chambers for your entire length of your calves. You got, typically one on your foot, one on your ankle, and one on your knee. So it's kind of in between on those boots. So anyways, pretty simple, pretty straightforward use case with these. I'll go ahead and just switch back here and give some of my final thoughts. So that's just a quick overview of wearing and using the Normatec Go. A couple other things to mention about it. Overall, they do weigh 1.2 pounds, so it's not super heavy. It's easy to travel with. Speaking of travel, it is a TSA approved device. It's definitely something, if you're gonna be on a long haul flight, you might want to consider wearing these instead of compression socks, or maybe in addition to compression socks. It's quiet enough, you're not going to disturb anybody, and it's going to get a lot of that blood flow and circulation going in your calves, which tend to start to swell if you are sitting for a long period of time. Similarly, if you are going to be someone that's on your feet a lot, again, I would definitely recommend wearing these. In terms of my overall thoughts, I'll be honest, I'm quite surprised by these. I thought this was going to be somewhat of a gimmicky device and not something that I would find useful. Ironically, I am someone that has super tight calves. I have big calves. I've always had tight calf problems. I actually tore my Achilles about 2 years ago, which I do think is somewhat tied to having tight calves. So having a device like this that can help massage my calves is something that I think I probably will start to use, especially on days when I am sitting for long periods of time. I do travel quite a bit for work, so I might consider using these when I am traveling. Now, the other thing that I will say is, even though they are a compression device, it's very different from what the boots are designed for in my mind. The Normatec boots in my mind are explicitly designed for fluid movement, to flush your body back to your core. Because this is only your calves, if you're looking to move fluids with this, you're not going to really get that. However, that being said, I did always get a little bit of a sensation in my feet. And I do think that's somewhat because it is sort of momentarily cutting off the circulation of blood flow to your feet. And so when that fresh blood runs to your feet, it does give you sort of a cool sort of second wind type of feeling in your feet, which does feel really good. But overall, I do think this is a pretty unique tool. I do expect that we'll probably see some more garments of theirs that maybe will be just some standalone sleeves that'll have these pumps built in, potentially just different, maybe a pair of shorts or something that you won't need the full pump unit like the Normatec 3 has, and maybe just have some more of these smaller pump units. Obviously, Therabody has that with their jet boots. I probably expect they'll do something similar as well, but If you guys have questions about the Normatec Go, go ahead, drop it in the comments down below. I will do my best to answer those questions. I have had these for about a month. I've been using them pretty frequently, I'd say, once or twice a week, just when I am out and about or after a workout. But otherwise, that's pretty much just a quick overview of these. That is the Normatec Go. That's a review. Enjoy recovery.